Mad Max Fury Road, a sequel made 30 years after the last one and has been in development for 15 of which, during which the creator was busy making Happy Feet and Babe. And after a lot of dude bros being mad about how there's a woman in this film, we got the film finally. We make up for the last film, and now the desert is extremely orange. Max is madly rambling to himself, eats a full lizard, somehow got his old car back, and is being chased by raiders. Oh, there goes his car again. Max gets captured. They cut his hair and tattoo him. And with the short hair, we can tell that he's been recast to be Tom Hardy. Because Mel Gibson was kind of crazy and 59 years old, it's okay to recast people instead of constantly doing the old people still kick ass role. Max's tattoo is a nutrition fact, tons of references, he's O positive, and apparently they start counting just days rather than years, so it's been 33 years since the world end. But Max breaks free, but I guess the heat's finally gotten to him as he starts having PTSD ghost. Who exactly they are is explained in tie-in comics, but who the hell has time to read? You don't really need to know who they are to get the fact that Max feels like he failed these people. You know, he's been around for a while, he probably has a bunch of off-screen adventures we haven't seen. Max nearly falls off a plateau and is captured again. A bit later, the war boys are suiting up to go get some gas. The squad is being led by Furiosa, played by Charlize Theron, who's South African, not Australian, but whatever. And yes, the entire film she's wearing a green screen cast. But the war boys are overall led by Immortan, not Immortal Joe, played by the same dude who played Toe Cutter in the original film. Kind of like the two pilots in Beyond Thunderdome and World Warrior, there's not really a reason they couldn't be the same character. Especially given that Joe has this whole, like, you live, you die, you live again thing, so it kind of would be poetic if it was Toe Cutter. Instead of easily losable keys to get their cars to go, they just plug in the big steering wheel. And Joe rules the plateau because he has access to the water. It only turns on for a little bit every time. One Valhalla calling me later, and they're off to Gastown. But Furiosa has other plans as she veers off course, which is spotted immediately. Probably should have left after you got the gas. But first, Joe and family has a quick sip of some racing milk, fresh from the chest. Does the body good. And after, Joe checks on his favorite wives he keeps behind a safe lock in a bird atrium, well, except this old one left with Furiosa. I also assume the milk maidens are his wives too. So Joe wants his stuff back, so they suit up. This war boy who's slowly dying is played by Nicholas Hoult when the final bell to let out school rings, when you're in detention.
What's going on?
By my deeds I honor him. V8.
Knox doesn't care that he has low blood sugar. He's going to war. They'll just bring their blood bank, who is Max.
We take my blood bag and strap into the Lancer's purge.
It's got a muzzle on it! It's a raging feral!
That's right. High-octane crazy blood filling me up. If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die historic on the Fury Road.
So they took Max's car, blood, and dignity. You can tell they were low on gas before because they keep flamethrowering each other. And they got war drums on wheels, but not just war drums on wheels. So silly and fucking awesome at the same time. The literal name Doof Warrior might be over the top as hell, but I think this actually works, because, I don't know, it's just cool. We heard Joe liked muscle cars, so we put a muscle car on his muscle car. Oh hey, on Knox's car. I guess they got the pilot. But then suddenly some Tusken Raiders driving porcupine cars attack. This is our technically first major action scene, and it looks incredible. Perfectly balancing practical effects with CGI. Oh no, a sandstorm. It's also a lightning storm. Despite being told not to harm the wives, Knox flies at the rig, fills his car with gas, huffs some chrome paint for good luck, and he's gonna torch himself. But Max breaks free and stops him. Somehow now the torch fell into the gas, and also gas ignites from the fumes, not just the touching the thing. But anyways, they get creamed by the rig. The petrol still does not ignite somehow. Somehow Max survives. 1, getting sandblasted from the storm, and 2, the wreck. He finds a shotgun. Ah, damn, he never has luck with these. So now there's a dude in a door strapped to his face. As he finds the wives hosing off and clamping off their chastity belts, Max asks for help in the only way he knows, by frightening them with a gun and grunting at them like Tim Allen, which goes as well as you would think. But despite being dehydrated, his blood being drained, and having another guy strapped to him, Max eventually gets the upper hand. But oh no, the boys are on their way, and Nux is way too excited about that and seeing pretty ladies to not listen to Max and cut the blood thing. Max shoots one of the wives in the leg and steals the rig. For a few seconds until the off switch happens, so he's stuck with them. Oh no, double trouble! As a banker is following them, the greatest enemy of Mad Max. Max decides to help out and fix a tire, getting that shit off his face so he stops looking like Bane, as Nux tries stopping the rig and gets tossed off. Apparently Furiosa made a deal with the Dreadlock tribe over here, but they kind of have second thoughts with how many war boys are coming, so they turn on Fury. They try collapsing the gate, but the good guys make it past too quick, and the bad guys are closed in. But Nux caught up with the war boys, and he's been with them, so he gets to ride with Dad on the monster truck over the ridge. But with a gun, Dad's approval, and huffing some chrome paint of encouragement, Joe wants him to prove himself. And Nux immediately embarrasses himself by getting the chain stuck and losing the gun. So Joe jumps over in the monster truck, spearing the steering wheel. But the pregnant wife that Max shot falls out of the rig, so Joe flips to go get her. After a while, they take a break, and one of the wives tries going back for her, and another one, capable, finds Nux. He's embarrassed that Joe thinks he's mid, but some basic human kindness, and he decides to help out the good guys. Then later, at day for night, they get the rig stuck in some mud, as the war boys are on their tail. They got enough time to pull the rig out, set up some traps, and use Max as a gun stand. He then comedically runs off screen and takes out some guys off screen, stealing their shit, driving through a game of Turn Up 28. The next day, Max wakes up from a PTSD dream, and it's smooth sailing, as they find a naked lady in a tower. But the lady recognizes Furiosa, and her granny companions tell her that this green place that she was looking for was the swamp from earlier. Climate change is a bitch. So with nowhere else to go, they hop on some bikes and go wherever the wind takes them. But Max decides maybe we shouldn't drive out into the desert and die. Instead, go backwards to the Citadel and take it over. With no better plan and only 20 minutes left of the film, we get our final chase back to the Citadel. It's definitely the biggest, craziest Mad Max chase scene yet. With people on poles and swinging between the cars, the old ladies get picked off pretty easily. Oh, there's Max's car. Well, there it goes again as it's sandwiched between two trucks. As Max and Fury catch up to Joe, and Fury's the one to take out Joe by ripping his face off. One car swap into Joe's truck, and Knox decides to sacrifice himself, blocking the gates so the war boys are slowed down, with one big CGI 3D 2015 effect. So the good guys make it back to the Citadel, no one's upset that Joe's dead, and they let the waters of life flow freely as Max heads off to the next adventure. This film is incredible. Of course the effects and even the action are the best of the franchise so far. This is basically the definitive film that proves that CGI can be used well to benefit practical effects, and altogether look amazing. The cars are really cool, the Doof Warrior is amazing, and ridiculous as hell. I love seeing all the different tribes and factions in the film and how different they are from each other, even if most of them don't really do much. It might suffer a little from not everything is fully explained, but like with Road Warrior, I think we can just hop into it much like Max and not need everything to be told to us. I like Furiosa and how well she parallels Max in the film, with Max losing everything and being objectified much like the wives, but eventually teaming up to fight back and hopefully build a better tomorrow. I give this film 9 out of 10. Be sure to smash that like button, share with your friends, comment your own thoughts and opinion about Fury Road, and subscribe if you're new.